All right, welcome everyone. I do not want to wait another second to dive into the image of success with you guys today. I'm absolutely thrilled that you're here. It says a lot about who you are. And of course, before we started our event today, we had the lovely Vladdy and the lovely Kayla and the lovely Roddy all sharing their ideas and suggestions for getting ready for today. And I loved what they all said and what they all shared. And I want to touch on a couple of those points before I switch over to my PowerPoint presentation. In fact, as Roddy was talking about just acting as if and being as if, feeling as if you are already that success. I was out walking my dog yesterday, and I just took one of them for the walk because the other one wanted to have an afternoon nap, I suppose. And while I was out walking, I received a text from an actress, and she's from Hollywood. She lives in LA, and she's been acting for pretty much most of her career, and she's a great actress. I won't mention her name just out of respect for her. And we were chatting about a number of things. I had met her when she had come to an event, and we were talking about some things that she wanted to create. And I was thinking to myself, being in the field, being in that industry of acting is an amazing field to really learn that understanding of acting as if, because you have to portray a certain character, right? You have to be that person. You have to embody their personality, and you have to portray it in such a way that it's so believable to the audience. Well, this is really what we're talking about here as we're talking about you and you creating more success in your life. You have to embody the image of being a success already. And every one of you can do it. But the reason why you're not consistently doing it is because the habitual way of being. And so for today, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into your subconscious mind, the power of the subconscious mind, how it works, but more importantly, how to change it so that you create the image of success within you so that you are producing your desirable results. You know, one of the things that was also shared before we began is the entire concept of, and I believe it was Roddy who said this as well, and Roddy had talked about success is inevitable. I want you to just think about that for a moment. I want you to just think about your desires, the things that you would love to have in your life, and just imagine it's inevitable. In other words, there's no possibility that it may not happen. It's absolutely certain that your success is definitely going to happen. It's inevitable. When you think about that as a concept, how does that feel? Right? Seriously, how does it feel? Type in the little chat box on the right-hand side what that would feel like. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up that you can all see each other's chat. So we're going to do that a little bit different, but I'm going to ask you to not be trying to solicit other people in the meeting. Let's keep this focused because I do have a lot of content to go through. And Monica says it's an amazing feeling. Sharon says amazing. What about the rest of you? There we go. Okay. Myrna, I love that. She's saying relieved. Does anyone else relate to that? The feeling of relief? Yeah, that's a good feeling, right? That feels good. Amazing, freeing, freedom, one with life in the flow, says Mila. Feeling great, no worries. Okay, I want you to just know this. I really want you to accept this idea into your heart that your success is inevitable. In fact, it's guaranteed. It's absolutely guaranteed. Now, that may be a bold statement. And when I first heard that statement, I liked it. Of course, I can't imagine why anyone wouldn't love the idea of your success being absolutely guaranteed. But in order for you to realize your success, you must, and I say must very lovingly, you must create the image of success. And as Kayla referenced before we started today, you step into that image. You become that person. Now, this is a process. We're really here to talk about you becoming a greater version of who you already are. Everything that you need is within you now. You have unlimited power within you. So you don't have to go anywhere to get anything. It's already there. So what we do at Dynamic Destinies is we help you uncover and discover what that really is. Okay, what that really is, so that you can use and tap into that power consistently, so that there's no more struggle. Life is not meant to be a struggle. Life is not meant for you to learn a whole bunch of hard lessons. That's just baloney. Simply not true. Life is meant to be lived fulfilled the way you would love to live your life. And that's what we're here to do. It's like we often have a slide in our presentations that says, your success is our success. And it is. It absolutely is. We are here for you. We show up all the time doing these events. We give it our all. I always prepare new content. You'll never see the same presentation from me twice. Not because it's changed or not because it's different. I just want to find better ways, more improved ways, another way of helping you understand. Now, as we saw, and Kayla had referenced this as well, we saw a lot of familiar faces here. I love that our familiar faces show up. I love that our new faces show up too. But when I see you showing up, when I see Tammy coming again, or Marie Ann coming again, or Laura's here, or Billionaire Pete has joined us again, and many of the other people that are here on this call, that warms my heart. Like, I know you likely know a lot of this stuff. And that's great. That's great. But are you living it to the best of your ability? I don't think anybody is. It's like when Kayla asked the question, you know, does anybody here have a paradigm that they want to change, something within themselves that they like to change? I put up my hand too. Absolutely. We're all here for growth. And I think if we think that we got it all figured out, we're in trouble. We are in serious trouble, serious trouble. Repetition is important, Marie Ann. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. Thank you for writing that. Yeah. And Liv says, it's the context I'm choosing for my life. I love that. You see, that's another important part of all of this. You choose. So how many of you have chosen success for yourself? How many of you have said, I'm done with playing small. I'm finished with the struggle. I am here now to create what I really would love. Yes. All right. Susan, beautiful. All right. Susan, I understand that you may be joining us for Hollywood Manifest. That's amazing. I look forward to seeing you there and look forward to that. It's going to be a phenomenal event. Absolutely phenomenal event. All right. Caddy's here too. Ahmed, thank you. Yes. Good. Miriel. Tammy, yes. Oh, a big yes. I like Tammy's yes. Okay, good. Oh, Shalina says, Peggy helped me achieve my 30,000 goal in 2022. That just gave me goosebumps. Oh, thank you so much, Shalini, for sharing that with us. You know, yesterday we had a mastermind meeting with our Skipping Levels members. And during the meeting, one of our new members had shared that she had set a goal to attract a certain amount of money. By the way, this is a great idea for anyone that's looking to attract some money, you know, whatever that is, whether you're looking to buy something, pay something off, just put it away, whatever it is that you want, set a certain amount of money. Imagine that it's in your life now. So this particular client had joined our Skipping Levels program, and she had made a decision that she was going to attract a certain amount of money into her life within a relatively short period of time. And she shared yesterday, I was just looking to see if she's on the call. She's not on the call right now, but she shared yesterday in the mastermind that she did it. In fact, she surpassed it. I've done that myself time and time again. You see, when you really learn how this works, how this magic of life works, how the magic of you works, you can create magic in your life consistently. That is really the reason why I'm so in love with the materials and so in love with studying and so in love with helping people and mentoring people and teaching people. That's really what it is all about. So I'm really grateful. So that is wonderful. Yay. Oh, Valine is here. All right, great. I was looking for V and Valine, but she's here under MindFit. And thank you, Valine. I didn't ask Valine if she was okay with me sharing that. And so that's why I didn't mention your name, but she just typed in the chat box, I'm here. And that's who it was. It was Valine. So I'm not telling stories out of school. I will only share with you results that are true. So for the sake of today, I'm going to walk through my presentation. We're going to be together for almost 2 hours. I'm going to be guiding you through the image of success for you, how to create the image of success. And I'm going to talk to you about manifestations. specific manifestations, some of my own, but I'm going to relate it and bring the correlation back to the image of success. Okay. Shalini says, I think it happened for me in about 5 months and I was blown away. Peggy, the way you teach is absolutely phenomenal. Wow, I love that. Oh, that warms my heart. That gives me goosebumps. I love that so much. Liv says, been loving being a student of this since I joined $1 Million a Month with you, Peggy, a few years ago. I love that too. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my presentation now. I'll share my screen with you for the image of success. And also throughout this presentation, one of the things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing with you some of our success stories of clients that we've been blessed to serve. Some of them may be here, some of them may not be here. We didn't ask them in advance because they've all given us testimonials, some video testimonials. So we'll hear from people as well. I'll make sure that my microphone is turned all the way up so that we can hear from them. Also, I found a little video clip from Bob Proctor, and I have a whole folder on my computer, and this folder are all these videos of what Bob has said about me. And so we kept them. And so I'm going to share with you one little video. It's a little bit embarrassing, but there's a very good message in it that I'm definitely going to share with you. So have you ever envisioned achieving your highest level of success, but felt unsure about the steps to get there? Like, just really be honest. Have you thought about that? Like, you really, maybe it's a fleeting idea, something that's come into your mind. You're thinking, oh my God, I'd really love that. I think about Susan, who's on the call here today, and her joining us at the Hollywood Manifest. And as we've been getting ready for that, this was not something that I was planning to talk about today, but this is actually a really relevant point. When I think about Hollywood Manifest, what's Hollywood? When we think about Hollywood, we think about entertainment, right? We think about stardom. And you know what's exciting about today's day and age? That anybody can get into Hollywood. In fact, 3 of my books, my trilogy, Savvy Wisdom, is being shopped right now to be made into a movie. And we've talked to a number of studios. We've got a lot of interest in it. And I'm thinking that if you can fog a mirror, you can do this. Like, seriously, anybody can do this. Anybody could get into Hollywood. And so when we think about that idea of creating success, and this morning, Roddy and I were chatting about the Hollywood Manifest event, and we think about getting into Hollywood and creating that kind of success, and then think about this. Have you ever envisioned achieving your highest levels of success, but felt unsure about the steps to get there? For example, authors. I work with a lot of authors, new authors, existing authors who would love to be New York Times bestselling authors, sell millions of copies of their book, or people that simply want to build a business and have it be the most successful business in the world, like billionaire Pete building his $1 billion business, right? But you're not sure how to get there. Well, I have really good news. And here's the great news. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. But the steps to get there are to imagine that you're already there. Now, that may sound completely bizarre, but think about what we talked about earlier when we were talking about acting and portraying a certain role. And this is what actors do. I think about, there's a video that I have from another presentation that I did a while back by Kate Winslet, who's from Australia, I believe. And she had said when she was accepting her Academy Award that when she was a little girl, she would stand in front of the mirror in her bathroom. And as she's standing in front of the mirror in her bathroom, she would hold her hairbrush. And she said she would hold her hairbrush in her hand, imagining that it is her Oscar and imagining that she's giving her acceptance speech. So what was she doing? She was doing exactly what I just said. She was imagining, boy, that's my grandson, James, is calling me on FaceTime video. Anyways, it's hard for me to decline that one, I have to tell you. But anyways, we're here to work. And so she would hold this and she would just imagine that she's accepting her Academy Award. She did exactly what we're talking about here. She did it over and over again. Now, she was a little girl when she started that, and she was an adult when she won, but it's possible. You simply have to stay in harmony. This is a great suggestion. You have to stay in harmony with what you desire, feeling and knowing that it's already there. So there's a variety of different reasons why you've joined us here today. Maybe it was the name of the event. Maybe it's because you're at our other events. Maybe you just love learning like I do. So maybe you're looking to improve an area of your life, or perhaps like we've heard from a couple of our participants that are here right now, you'd like more money. That's a good thing. That's a worthy goal, of course. Or do you aspire to reliably turn each of your dreams into reality, one after another? Is that something that you'd really love to do? Or you found that there's been some sabotage going on in your life, and you're maybe frustrated by it, but you're at a point of dissatisfaction. I heard this term years ago. Dissatisfaction stimulates growth. Dissatisfaction stimulates growth. Now, is anybody here dissatisfied with your results right now? I'm going to do a view. There we go. Anybody? Yes. Okay, good. Well, I'd get excited about that dissatisfaction, because it's usually, not always, but usually at that point that you get inspired to do something about it. I was chatting with a client the other day who was sharing with me something that she's going through right now, and she's really dissatisfied. And I was telling her how exciting it was. Now, she wasn't wanting to get on that bandwagon of excitement and joy and sharing in the gratitude or whatever, because she's consumed in dissatisfaction. She's consumed in grief and frustration that things aren't happening the way she wants to, or not happening as fast as she wants to. And I had to remind her, you're in a destructive state of mind right now. This is not the energy that's going to produce the results that you want, but you can turn that around. You can look at the current scenario and allow it to propel you to be a springboard to move into a new experience. But you have to choose this. Now, I know how hard that can be. In fact, is Maddie here? Is Maddie on our call today? Maddie is a lovely lady that she might be teaching a class right now. She also does teaching. Maddie was sharing with me privately in an email last evening about a woman. It's a friend of hers that is at the present time battling cancer. And I found lately, Valine actually reached out to me as well, that when people have friends or family members that are going through a diagnosis of cancer, metastatic cancer, or whatever, because I went through that and I healed myself. I didn't do it on my own. I had obviously some medical professionals that definitely helped me get through that experience. But because I got on the other side of that, being completely healthy, that people are reaching out to me and saying, how did you do it? How did you do it? Well, I'm going to tell you, how I did anything is how I do everything. You have to feel as if you already have the result that you want in your life. So Maddie was sharing this email with me about her friend that she had told me about a little while back. And I autographed, wrote special notes, and couriered copies of my series, Savvy Wisdom, to the young lady. And Maddie was sharing that she's so grateful for the books. In fact, she was hospitalized recently because she had an adverse reaction to the chemo treatment that she was on. And she brought Savvy Wisdom with her to the hospital, and she said they were her friend. And they can be your friend. We can be your friend, guiding you through these challenging times. And she said that it was just a constant companion and a constant reminder. I also had emailed this lady and I told her what to do. And really what it was is the concept of, and I want you all to think about your situation. I want you to think about the frustration that you're in, denying the evidence of the senses. Now we hear those words, we understand what it means. It's like, stop looking at the negative balance in your bank account, or stop looking at the lack of sales, or stop looking at whatever it is that's not serving you right now. And you have to imagine, this is what you do, is you use your imagination to imagine that you already have that which you desire. And what Maddie was saying to me last night is this woman is having a heck of a time doing that, but yet she's doing it. And she says, I just think of Peggy, I think about her advice, I think about what she suggested, and I ask myself the question, now that I'm healthy, how do I feel? And of course, she read the Savvy Wisdom series. And in book 2, which is part of the 3 books, the trilogy, in book 2, the main character that I wrote about, Sophie, is based on me. She went through this whole metastatic cancer diagnosis and treatment and healed herself, which is exactly almost verbatim what I personally went through. So she's using it as a guide. And that's what we do when we want to produce results, better results. We go to the places where we can find the solutions, where we can get the help, where we can get the Band-Aid. Like if you have a cut, you go and you find something that's going to help you, right? You have a sore throat, you go and get something to help you. When you have challenges in your life, you also need to go and get the solutions so that they can help you. But what's fun about this industry that we're in, this personal development industry, this growth industry, is that when you're always feeding your mind with great information, what you'll find is that not only will you be consistently producing better results, but you're just going to feel better all the time. And what a great way that is to live, to wake up every day and just feel that joy of living your life. So when we think about Muriel's question, just caught me off guard for a moment. I love that question. I'm going to answer that next. When we think about why you came here today, like what you would love to get out of this event, and I love that. I love feeding the hungry. It's just what I feel so inspired to do every single day. You will get the answers because you're open and you're ready to receive. So regardless of whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life, I know I can help you. I'm absolutely certain of it. Now, Muriel said, can I help someone else? I love that. You know, one of the best ways that you can help yourself is by helping another. In fact, we created a division in our business 3 years ago called Destiny Coaches, and that's exactly what they do. In fact, we likely have some of our Destiny Coaches right here on our call together. Absolutely. Yes, Caddy just wrote, I just love this. Staying in the study, as Peggy says, is now a way of life for me. I love that, Caddy. And Caddy's a new student for us. We love her. Vladia told me about her. She met with her and she joined us in our program, and we're so happy. I love what Miriel wrote here today as well. She says, my acting career starts today. Now, I know Miriel, at least I'm assuming that Miriel is not talking about going off to Hollywood to become an actor or actress. What she's saying is living the life that she has imagined in her role as the creator, because you're all creators. You're all playing a main role in your life. And so what I suggest is assume the role of the person that has accomplished everything that you've set for yourself. So let's go back to our slides because I have several of them and we're already 22 minutes in and I'm on slide 3. So I want to make sure that we keep this going and keep it rocking and rolling. But if we think about a visual, right? Like what does success look like? I want you all to answer this question in the chat box. What does success look like for you? Now, it's going to be interesting to see some of these answers that we're going to see in the chat box. Like some people that are here may assume that success for them is that they are world renowned. Maybe that's part of the desire, that they're an influencer. It's interesting that the young kids of today, that's one of the desires that they have, is to be an influencer, right? It's very attractive, that whole idea of being an influencer. Maybe it's because you would like to build a successful business. I think about billionaire Pete building his successful business. Maybe you're an author and you want to create success as an author and be not only an author, but write books that have been translated to multiple languages. Maybe another one of those billionaire authors that J.K. Rowling really helped show the way, like led the way for people. Vitali is here. All right, Vitali, it's so great to have you here as well. Vitali says, I'm so grateful to God for connecting me to Peggy, my beloved mentor and spiritual mother. And I am so grateful to God for connecting me with you as well. I love the difference you're making in the world. But Kathy, or as we affectionately call Kathy Percy, says impact. And I know Kathy, I've read her book. I know who she is. I know what she's been through in her life, which is quite extraordinary. She's been on quite the journey and impact. And what she's really talking about here, I know this because I know Kathy, is positive impact. That's really what she's talking about. Tammy says success in achieving any goal, long-term or short-term. Love that, Tammy. I see that for you. You're a very good student in all of this. There are many successes on different levels. You're right. There is many successes on different levels for sure. Marina, freedom, real happiness, knowing that you can help others and you are helping others. How about that? Nancy, another wonderful author. Success to me is my book being made into a successful mini series. I love that, Nancy. I could totally see that for you. You're a very gifted writer. Definitely. You should check out Hollywood Manifest, by the way. Just go to hollywoodmanifest.com. You want to find out about that. Cheryl, a successful life coach helping others upgrade their lives. It's such a rewarding career. It really is. I see that for you. Durango, helping people transform their health. I love that, and hearing those stories. I'll tell you, when somebody gets into a challenging situation in their life, when it's their health, nothing else matters. I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't have your health, you're kind of, I was thinking of another word for screwed, but anyways, let's just use the word that came to my mind. Okay, excuse me if you don't like the word. So it's very important. I love that you're doing that. Heidi, financially set for life and successfully helping others. Wow, we got a lot of people here who have very kind hearts and looking to help others. And of course, I'm not surprised by that for Heidi either. Christiana, financial freedom, helping others while being a successful day trader. Oh, I like that. Mila, fulfillment in sharing my gifts and earning emotional and financial reward, living my full potential in giving and receiving. Perfect. Bertina, doing what you want to do whenever you want, money not being an issue. How many of you would love that? Yes, that's a really good one, of course. And you can have that and so much more. Oh, I love Jan says, success for me is to be calm in challenging situations. Perfect. Success in being a successful children's series author for Sharon, and mystery series author and successfully selling my meaningful jewelry. Oh, nice. Myrna, inspire others to freedom in mind, heart, and soul. Beautiful. Tammy, an overflowing cup of health and financial abundance. I have no financial worries and can help others as I wish without having to think twice. I'm living my vision and making an impact, helping others regain health. Wow, very important areas. Dawn, financial and time freedom and walking on my new legs. Love that. I see that for you. Pete, billionaire Pete, building a successful construction business and helping others. I know that's something that you're really good at. Tootie, or Aunt Tootie, as I affectionately call Sunshine Tootie, having a tool bag filled with strategies to undo our stinking thinking is so valuable, so true. It means we're not victims to life. So true. That's what Peggy teaches, helping us gain in our life. Very, very true, Tootie. I love that. And I love the work that you're doing as well. Oh, and Matt says helping people to love more. Wow. You know, I love what Ellen DeGeneres used to say at the end of her show, like, be kind to one another, be kind to one another. Wouldn't it be a wonderful world to live in where people are just kind, like consciously being kind to one another? All right, I'll read a couple more and I'm going back to my slides. Lucy says, helping women 60 plus to start an online business, getting them to brand and launch themselves organically on their social media. Beautiful, Lucy. I see that for you. Vitaly, total freedom to do what I want with who I want and how much I want to do. Yes, and Sharon, living a lifetime in money freedom and creating positive influence. I mean, that's really what it's all about. When we think about why we're here, what we'd love to get, what we'd love to get is a feeling, right? Now, I have really good news for you. It's already there. What's already there, Peggy? The feeling is already there. You simply have to bring it out. But there's a lot of stuff in the way, so we have to bypass all that crap in order to express a greater and grander version. So when we go to the slides where I talk about the subconscious mind, this is going to make a lot more sense for everyone. So it's important though, and I just want to pause here for another moment and talk about, what does success look like for you? It is important that you know, that you have the clarity to understand, what does that look like for me? If my life were a great success, if I was living my life totally fulfilled, what would it look like? Now, this is something that you may want to consider. In fact, I highly recommend that you do, and then get in harmony with that. So you're really creating what's called a clear vision. a vision of you being the success, you seeing yourself be that success, and not seeing yourself struggling or feeling challenged or continuing to experience results that you don't want. And then you get on with the work to truly live it. Now, that sounds like such a simple command, right? Like, let's just get on with the work and we're going to live it. It is a simple command, that's true, but the actual work can be challenging. And the reason is because of the paradigms that are currently in place. That's why it's so important to invest in this study. That's why I love seeing the familiar faces that are on here, because this is what is part of the work. This is part of the work, expanding your understanding, expanding your knowledge, because even if you've heard this before, or you've heard something similar to this before, it still serves you to hear it again and again and again. And that is the reason why I like to do up fresh slides and to do up new content, find a better way to explain things, because it's not that it's going to be any different to what it was before. It's just that I know that when we can have a deeper understanding of this, it's going to change our consciousness. And we'll talk about the consciousness in a moment. So we've seen time and time again how the right support at the right time can turn potential into remarkable achievement. So are you ready to see how far you can go? Like, I think about my own experience from January 1979, and I was dragged, I mean, literally dragged to a seminar. And when I think about this statement here, we've seen time and time again how the right support at the right time. I didn't even go there willingly. Like, I know all of you came here willingly. At least I'm assuming you all came here willingly. Did anybody come here unwillingly? I doubt it, right? Okay, you're all here willingly. Okay, good. So when I had gone to this seminar, Right Place, Right Time, back in January 1979, and this gentleman came on stage, Bob Proctor, I mean, I just wanted to leave the room, not because Bob was there. That wasn't it at all. In fact, once Bob started talking, I became like mesmerized and completely drawn in. And when he quoted Vernon Howard and he said, "You can't escape from a prison unless you know you are in one." And he went on to explain what that really meant, that we create these prisons within ourselves. So if you're experiencing struggle right now, you're in a prison of sorts. It's not a judgment. It's simply an observation. It's important to be an observer and not judge your results, not judge what you've done. That won't serve you. If you've done something or found yourself in a very uncomfortable situation, just understand this will pass. However, how you'd like it to pass is to pass in a way that's positive, to pass to a point where you are creating what you desire and staying out of what you no longer desire. This is what's going to pass. So I believe you're all in the right place at the right time. You're here for a reason, and so am I. And so is Roddy, and so is Vladdy, and so is Kayla, all part of our Dynamic Destinies team. But when we think about this question, like really think about this question, are you ready to see how far you can go? Like, I think it's time to strap on a seatbelt, because this is going to be a wild ride, right? When you really tap into that power within you, it can be phenomenal what you create. I remember Bob and I having discussions about that. I remember asking him one day, I said, "Bob, does it ever surprise you, sometimes how fast you manifest things or how easily you manifest things?" And he giggled, when I asked the question. He said, "Sometimes." And I know exactly what he's talking about, because I had the same experience. It's like stuff would happen. It's almost like, it's not like you're testing the laws, but when you know how it works and you set your mind on something that you have no earthly idea how you're ever going to do it, but you decide you're doing it and you go for it anyway, and then it manifests, it's like, whoa, that is incredible how that happened. And the truth is, you set the intention, which is your outcome. That's your goal, whatever that is, like billionaire Pete has done with his billion-dollar company. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. You don't. But what you must do, and this is why we call Pete Varma Billionaire Pete, because I gave him that identity when he was up in Ottawa at an event that I did. And then everybody started calling him Billionaire Pete. In fact, when my husband and he have become friends and they're texting each other, Danny will turn to me and say, "Oh, I just heard from billionaire Pete." And when we had the event in Ottawa, people are referring to him as billionaire Pete. And I know billionaire Pete can go far. I know he can create this. This is all I see for him. And the only reason why I see that for him is because he shared it, right? He shared it with me. I love it when people share their goals with me so I can see. Now, when I think about my own life and we put it into contrast, I think it's important to understand the contrast because I teach what I teach because I live this stuff. I have transformed my own life. And I'll show you a picture in a little bit. Some of you have seen it before, but I want to talk about contrast from the home that I was raised in to the home that I purchased later. So before I got into these materials, so we're talking about before I met Bob Proctor and decided to invest in myself, I was in debt and I was a young girl, but I was already in debt. I was already experiencing some health challenges. I was having unstable relationships. I felt imprisoned by employment. In fact, I felt like going to work was like going to prison. Maybe some of you can understand that one. I was suffering in the struggle. I thought I was a worthless piece of poop. I mean, I really did. I would tell myself that over and over again. And I didn't have any will to live. Now, that's a pretty dark place. And it's not the place that I wish on anyone. And I'm not saying that you have to be in a drastic state of struggle before you can create change. It could be just subtle change that you're looking for. But since I've studied, and as a result of understanding and applying what I've learned over the years and continuing to stay in this study, I became a multimillionaire. I'm completely healthy. I am happily married to the most wonderful man. I do what I love and I love it. Oh my God, I just love what I do so much. And I don't suffer. I don't go to bed at night thinking about, I'm a worthless piece of what. I easily move at a struggle if I begin to feel it. Like if a thought enters my mind that I know is destructive. And I'll talk about that in a moment because I want to talk about the thoughts or the ideas that have already been impressed in your subconscious mind. And I truly do believe I live an extraordinary life. Now, this is not to brag, not at all. The only reason why I'm sharing this is because I want you to understand that you can do anything that you set your mind to. And I'm going to share some images of that as well. But Roddy had referenced this before we started today as well. Like if you were on early, if you're one of our early arrivals, you would have heard Roddy talk about Bob Proctor used to say this statement: you cannot outperform your self-image. You cannot, but let's stop and think about that for a moment. And that means if you don't believe that you are worthy of being a multimillionaire or worthy of being a success or worthy of being a great coach or worthy of being a New York Times bestseller or worthy of having a loving relationship, you'll never have it. Or you might get it, but you'll likely sabotage it and send it away, send it in the opposite direction. Not because you want to do that, but that's what happens with our self-image. Our self-image is a part of who we are. It's our identity, how we see ourselves. In fact, Bob used to say that whenever anyone wanted to go and work for his corporation, he would ask them, what's the most amount of money that you've ever earned in a year? And he said, I didn't ask them because I'm nosy. He said, I asked them because I wanted to know what they think they're worth. So whatever you're earning presently is likely what your previous self-image was. Now, I say previous because I know there's some people here that have created a new self-image. Now your results are going to catch up. They're going to catch up down the road when you're doing the work. They may not be here right now, but your responsibility is to imagine that you're already earning the kind of money that you would love to be earning. You have to see it. You have to believe it. You have to act as if that is your result in your life right now. And that's what Neville Goddard said by deny the evidence of the senses. You can't continue to look at present results and stay emotionally involved in present results and produce something different. It simply doesn't work. It's like it just doesn't fly. And what does it mean to be in harmony with what you desire? That means you have to feel as if it's in your life now. So you wake up in the morning and you're feeling like, oh, what a gift it is to do what I love. I love my business so much. It's so wildly successful. I feel very blessed and honored. And I love it when I look at my bank account and I can see my statements. And I love, hearing from my financial advisor telling me about how my investments have just gone up by, X number of digits or whatever. You live it, you imagine it, you personify it. And as you're walking, and we can see it, in people's physiology, the way they move their body, the way they hold themselves, the way they hold their head, the way they smile, the way they dress as well. Are you dressed for success? I mean, that was a big thing in the 80s, dress for success. That's why, Bob and I were always the kind of people that wore suits whenever we were on stage, because it was sort of drilled. I don't think it's so much that way anymore. And does it mean that you can't have jeans on and a t-shirt and not be successful? No, you could certainly have jeans and a t-shirt on and still be wildly successful. It's really what's going on inside that's going to attract the outside. That's what's really important. So the understanding of all of this comes from the ability to choose what it is that you want. You have the ability right now to create phenomenal results in your life. You do. You absolutely do. My responsibility is to help bring that out, to help you discover and uncover the very best version of who you already are, so that you can produce the results. And all that's required is the understanding of how to apply your power, not how to make it happen, but how to apply your power. That's where a lot of people struggle, is they don't know, excuse me, how to apply their power. So the image of you, like who you are, is already deeply embedded into your subconscious mind. And, excuse me, if you wanted to know what someone was like, all you have to do is look at their results. That's it. Not for judgment. Again, this is not for judgment. So if you're thinking of yourself, excuse me, and you likely are, I want you to think, oh, sorry. Hang on a sec. I'll just drink a little bit of water. I want you to think about your results and how are they reflective in your life. Hold on one second here. All right. So the image is part of who you are. Now, how does it get there? How does that image get into your subconscious mind? It's impressed there from when you're a child. So when you're a small child, everyone was taking in information. So if you had very loving, caring, positive parents, and they told you how smart you are, how incredible you are, and how you could do anything you set your mind to, and you're gifted or whatever that was, and that was constantly said to you, and you began to believe it, and you went to school and you started getting great grades, and the teachers were saying like, oh my goodness, look how smart you are. You're acing everything. All your grades are way up there. You're one of the best students. So what happens is the image becomes reinforced by the results, right? It's like an athlete who starts to compete at a young age, and they recognize that, when I do great things or I score a goal or whatever, that I get acknowledgement or appreciation, and they learn to love that, and they love to hear the praise, and then they want to do more of it. And so they hear that over and over and over again. It goes into their subconscious mind. But if you were like me as a child, and I suspect there's people here that went through a very similar experience, I wasn't told that you are amazing, that you have the ability to manifest anything in your life. In fact, I was told the opposite of that. Who do you think you are? You're so stupid, or you're so clumsy, or whatever other things that were constantly said over and over again, until I felt like I wasn't worthy of life. I really didn't believe I was worthy of life. Now, I'm not blaming my parents. I am not. I'm certain they did the best with what they understood, with what they knew, because they had very similar experience as children too. And so insecurity, lack of self-esteem, bad, poor image of myself was really what I was dealing with. And that's why when I was a teenager, I decided I just didn't want to live anymore. I really didn't. But why I want to mention this is that if we understand how our image was built in the first place, I want you to also understand it's always going to be a part of who you are. You do not remove it. We do not get these beliefs that have been impressed into our subconscious mind and dig them out like cancer. Like we take out something that's foreign in the body that doesn't belong there. It's always going to be a part of you. But you can change your perception. You could look at it differently. You could look at the gifts that it brought you in your life. Like I'm grateful for my upbringing, for the struggle that I had, for the abuse that I went through. Why am I grateful for that? Because I have a really good understanding of people that have gone through similar situations. I have compassion for them. I have empathy for them. I understand what that's like. I understand the pain of not wanting to live. I understand what it feels like to struggle, because I struggled, and not just a little bit, over and over again. And the truth is, we live in a world where there will be challenges. So I am actually grateful that I've had these experiences because it brought the gift of understanding to me so that I can help another, because I also understand what it feels like to not want to live your life like that anymore, to make a decision to make the change. Now that may sound extreme, and perhaps it was extreme to some degree, but I honor it now. I'm grateful for it. I really feel that it helps me understand other people as well. And that's why a lot of people who go through health challenges now come to me, or they have family members or friends, because they know that I overcame that as well. I now understand what it's like to get a diagnosis of something that sounds very scary. I understand what's needed and what you need to do to overcome it as well. Was it easy? Heck no. It was probably the most challenging time of my life. You know, up to this point in my life, the health challenge that I went through 2.5 years ago was the most challenging time of my life. But I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it because I'm grateful for the medical system. I'm grateful for the medical people that are serving people in this world. I'm grateful for their selfless way of being. I'm grateful for the support that I had. I'm grateful for the treatment that I was given. And I'm grateful that I'm living in a completely healthy body. So when we think about this image of who we are and what's there, I just want you to understand that it's important to love every part of you. Love every part of you, even the wounded part of you. Just love yourself, every single part of you. We're perfect just the way we are. You see, your subconscious mind is like a receiving station, but it is the powerhouse. Your subconscious mind is really running the show, and your subconscious mind is controlling everything about you. And so it accepts everything through the conscious mind. So our conscious mind is the gateway to our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is our thinking mind. Our conscious mind is our reasoning mind. And so sometimes people will accept something into their subconscious mind that doesn't serve them. And the only reason why is because of repetition. They hear it over and over and over again. Now, they may be telling themselves over and over again, like, you fool, like, I can't believe you did this, and why would you do that again? And why do you always attract that into your life? And so it's not always outside sources or stimuli that creates the impressions that go into our subconscious mind. But what reinforces it is the repetition. What builds the belief system within you is accomplished through repetition. Hence the reason why studying is so important as well. But everything that you take in, even as we've been on this call here so far, for the 47 minutes or 48 minutes that we've been here, you've taken it in. You're taking it in. You're taking it in through your conscious mind, and you're going to decide whether you're going to accept it or reject it. Now, I would suggest anytime I'm mentioning anything about you, your ability, and your great gifts that you have, accept it. Accept it, that you have this greatness within you, that you have the ability to manifest anything that you desire, that power is there, and that you can work in harmony with the laws of the universe that are always available. And they don't just select people. Anyone can do this. Anyone who can fog a mirror can accomplish great things in their life. Anyone. So if you have a poor self-image, and I actually asked AI, artificial intelligence, to create this image for me. Some of the images that you'll see in my presentation, I asked AI to create. I love using AI. If any of you know anything about me, I love AI. In fact, I teach it to our author clients and our MSI clients, those that want to, create their businesses online. I've been online myself since 1995, and I teach people how to create a successful business online or how to create multiple sources of income online. And so when I asked AI to create this image, I asked it to create an image of a person with a poor self-image that was filled with darkness. That's the way I saw myself, back in January 1979. And when your image is like that, you don't see the gifts in the world. You don't see the beauty. You don't see the greatness that's reflecting back in the mirror when you look in the mirror. You just see darkness, and everything is evident of the darkness that you're feeling inside. But the good news is you can change it, and you change it through taking in new information that's going to create a new mind. So new information, new mind. So my highest recommendation, which is exactly what I did to change my image of myself, is I committed to my success. Like, commit to your success. How many of you are committed to your success? Just type in the chat box right now. How many of you are committed to your success? I am. All right, great. Great, beautiful, all in. I love that, Durango. That's beautiful. Absolutely. Yes, 100%. Oh, Sean's here. Beautiful. All right, great. 100%. Excellent. I'm here for it. Beautiful. It is a very important question that I asked, and I paused to ask that question because it is important that your answer is, well, thumbs up like Wendy did, or no, not 50%, 100%, man. You got to be 100% committed to this. 100%. Okay, Eric's 200%. I love that. There's serious commitment right there. Okay, so when you're committed, then things can change. There's shift. It's almost as soon as you decide that you're committed as well. All right, good. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, I knew that's what you meant, Sean. No worries there. I know, Sean, you are committed to success. Absolutely. And you study. Like when I started taking Bob Proctor's program, when the program was finished, I signed up for the next one. When that was finished, I signed up for the next one. In fact, I noticed Connie was on here earlier, Connie McIntosh, who I love and appreciate. And I've got a testimonial from Connie I'm going to share with you today. But I think Connie is a lot like me, like very committed to the study, very committed to improvement. In fact, Connie was on our Skipping Levels class yesterday, and she talked about what she's going to accomplish in the next month. And I absolutely believe in her and her husband, Alan, and I see that success for her. So my highest recommendations are be committed, which based on the responses that I saw, I see that you are. Get in the study. And I'm going to share with you in a minute how we can help you with that. There's a couple different suggestions that we have for today. And then implement. Now, I really feel it's important to be it's not enough to know. It's not enough to study. It's not enough to understand. You must be implementing these practices for success into your life. And I have found that as much as it may seem simple, and you may understand, I've seen people still getting in their way, where they put things in. Like, I'll give you an example where somebody will set a goal to do something, and they've written out their statement as if it's sometime in the future. And they've written their statement, or they've declared that they would love or like to have something, or do something, or create something, or experience something. And the universe responds this way. The universe says, indeed you do want it. And you will continue wanting it until and unless you accept it into your heart as yours. Now, as much as those words are really simple to understand, not always simple to implement. Why? Because the paradigms get in the way. The belief system is your paradigm. That's part of who you are. That's your image. as an example, is already established. So the moment that you decide, you make a commitment that you're going to study and you're going to implement, there is going to be some challenges. And I know there's people here that understand that intimately. They've had the experiences, and they may feel like there's sometimes it's like, it's not working for me. I know I felt that. I remember having that thought around 1993. I had already been studying since January 1979, and something was going on in my life that was very frustrating. I was not getting the results I wanted, and I just felt like maybe this doesn't work. Maybe it doesn't work, or it's not working for me. And I was in my own way. You see, I had not disciplined myself enough for the implementation to be consistent. And maybe that might be true for some of you as well. Not a judgment, simply an observation. Maybe, just maybe, you haven't disciplined you enough, putting in the right practices to produce the results that you want. But I have good news for you. I can help you implement the right practices to produce the results that you want. Because what you ultimately want to do is create a strong self-image and be that person. Be the person who is already successful. How do you be the person who's already successful when you don't know how you're going to do it, when nothing in your life is reflective of that? You use your imagination. It's one word, it's imagination. You're acting as if, now in the beginning, it might feel awkward or uncomfortable. There's contrast there because you're reprogramming yourself with a new set of beliefs, and that takes time. It literally takes time, and it takes effort too. And so when you understand that, you're going to find that it's going to feel sometimes like a bit of a tug of war going on, or you're going to feel like you're going forward and then you're going backward. Can anybody relate to that? You know, that feeling of maybe you're somebody who's been in this study for a long time and you felt like, hey, I'm making progress. And then you feel like, what the heck's going on? I'm going backward. Or you set an intention for money and then you find out all of a sudden it's not there, or you got more struggles. Yeah, it happens to almost everyone. I remember one time hearing this statement, and I want to explain it because when I first heard it, I didn't understand it. And here's the statement. The moment that you decide to do something that you've never done before, things that are unlike it will show up in your life. I'm thinking, what? What does that really mean? So let's think about money. Okay, this is a good one. This is one that a lot of people love to talk about. I certainly love talking about money and prosperity and helping you attract more into your life. So as soon as somebody decides that they would love to experience more money, more financial gain in their life, all of a sudden the tire goes on the vehicle and they've got to buy a new tire, or a bill arrives in the mail and it was unexpected, or they get their accountant sending them their tax return and it's significantly more than what they thought it would be or should be. It's like, why is this happening? Does anyone understand that or have had that experience? Yeah, I've had that experience too. Why does that happen? It's because the paradigms that are already impressed within your subconscious mind are already there, right? They're always going to be a part of who you are. And so when you decide to do something you've never done before, there's like a battle that's going on. It's like the thermostat. And I know that Vladdy had referenced this earlier as well when she was sharing with the group before we started today. It's like the thermostat gets set on a certain temperature. And if we're looking to create warmth, greater warmth, then we turn the temperature up to a higher degree. And then the furnace kicks in, right? So the furnace kicks in because it's attempting to get us to where we want to go. But initially, when we decide, oh, I'm just turning the thermostat to a new degree, we're not there yet, right? So there's like an event that occurs in order for us to get there. And this is what happens is the moment you decide that you're going to do something you've never done before, the paradigms put up what Neville Goddard calls a royal battle. They put up this battle. It's like the engines are turning on. They're going to try and pull you back, right? Because you haven't changed your image yet. You have to change the setting within you to be that person who's already a success. And if you haven't done that, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you've got to change what's going on within you. You got to change your belief within you in order to produce better results. But when you understand, oh, okay, I get what's going on. This is just the battle. It's just the paradigms putting up a royal battle, and they're going to fight me, and they're going to fight me for a certain period of time until I accept this as my norm. Until I accept this is who I am. I'm no longer going to settle for less. I'm no longer going to be in the struggle. It's not fun to be there. It's no fun being there, but you can produce better results by creating a new image of who you are. And so this is the part that's going to take time, and it's going to take some effort. So there'll be a bit of a battle going on, but when you stay consistent and when you continue to implement what you're learning, you'll find that you'll get to a point where the old version of you is so quiet that you're not even giving it any attention anymore. Because when the paradigms are putting up this royal battle, right, where the negative, and sometimes, as I said earlier, it's even within our own chatter, within our own mind that it's going on. And when we recognize that that's going on and we decide no more, I don't want this battle anymore. I'm not going to give any energy to these ideas. I'm going to stop this destructive, negative self-talk. I'm only going to suggest loving ideas into my mind. Then we start to make the change. But there's going to be a struggle going on. And does it ever end? No, it doesn't ever end because it's always a part of who you are. But when you have the awareness and the understanding of how it works, you can deal with it more effectively. Because once you've built that positive self-image, you are not going to let any negativity in. So even if somebody said something to you that's not true, you wouldn't get upset by it. You wouldn't get upset because you know it's not true, right? Or even if you said something to yourself and you realize that what you're saying is a destructive thought, then you change it. You change it and you say something loving to yourself or something positive. Or as some people do, they go cancel, cancel. And that's fine to say cancel, cancel, but replace that thought with a new thought, a more empowering thought. So this is what I wrote a book, a New York Times bestseller, in fact, called Your Destiny Switch. And this is where I wrote about switching techniques. Because when you start to feel fear, or you start to feel all consumed in what you don't want, because you're looking at results and you're not getting what you want, and you need to stop that right away because it is destructive, and ask yourself this fabulous 4-word question. Now, how many of you know what that 4-word question is? Some of you are really great students of mine. I'm certain you're going to know what it is. Herman says, are all your images created from AI? Most of them, yes. They're cool, aren't they? I really like them. All right, Tootie, you win the prize. Aunt Tootie, yes, okay, good. We're seeing lots of answers here. What would I love? What would I love? I love the fact that you guys wrote that out so fast. It is the go-to question to ask yourself when you find yourself feeling fearful, when you find yourself feeling worried, when you find yourself in doubt. Just ask yourself, stop yourself. The moment you start to notice you're slipping down that negative hill, stop yourself. It's destructive. It's not going anywhere good. You want to stop the insanity and ask yourself, what would I love? But it's more than just asking that question. There's 2 additional parts that go with it. There's 3 parts. What would I love? Determine what the answer is. So you answer the question, what would I love? I'd love this. 3rd step, go straight to feeling. Go straight to feeling what it would feel like were you to have that experience in your life right now. You switch out of the negative over to the positive, out of the negative over to the positive. So if we look at this image that's here, that I shared with you a moment ago, which was the image of the the positive and the negative, the dark and the light, if we look at that image and you start to go down the road of the negative, just say, what would I love? Oh, I'd love this. Okay, what's that feel like? And you go straight to feeling. See, that's how you put yourself back on track. And that's what you want to be doing. If you need to do this multiple times every hour, do it. In fact, I recommend that. One of my favorite authors is Dr. Joseph Murphy, and he wrote a book called Master Key to Wealth. And in that book, he says, if you need to switch a negative thought 50 times an hour, do it. Do it. Now, some people are thinking negative thoughts more than that, but switch. You want to switch as fast as you possibly can over to the thought that's going to serve you, over to the idea, but more importantly, over to the feeling state of feeling as if you already have that result in your life. So back in 1995, when I bought a house and I didn't have any money, I was scared. I understood the laws. I took a leap of faith. I made a decision to do something that I had no idea how I was ever going to do it. I had no idea how I was going to pay for this home. And I felt an enormous amount of fear. And it's funny because I've had people ask me over the years, did you feel fear when you went through that experience? Yes. Did I feel fear 2.5 years ago when I heard from the doctor of metastatic cancer? Yes, I felt the fear. It's not that fear is going to leave your life. You just have to understand how destructive it is and how to switch out of it as fast as you possibly can. So when I bought that house, didn't know how I was going to pay for it, and I'd feel the fear come up, I just say, what would you love? Love to own this house. What's that feel like? Feels great. Okay, feel it now. Go straight to feeling, and that's what I would do. Bam, bam, bam. And you want to be doing this all day long. In Neville Goddard's book, Feeling is the Secret, happens to be my favorite book, Neville Goddard says this. He says it's the dominant of two emotions is the one expressed. The dominant of two feelings is the one expressed. So what does that mean? If you're feeling more fearful, that's being expressed through your body, right? That means you're sending out energy, right? There's vibration that's going on. Can't see it, but it's being sent out. What's happening is it's a magnetic. You're drawing back to you results that will be reflective of what you're fearing. You know, what you fear has come to see you, to haunt you. It's what happens when you're in fear. What's the opposite of fear? Faith, right? When you feel faith, even though you have no idea how you're going to do it, you have no evidence in sight, the way has not been revealed to you, but you have the faith, this is done, you're vibrating very differently. You're energetically expressing energy that's drawing back to you like energy, which will produce the results. So you're not alone in this. You're not alone in this. You're working in harmony, like a partnership with the laws of the universe that are available for everyone that's here, everyone that's on this call. And they operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, Sunil says, how do you handle fear which becomes prominent when taking action? For example, fear of failure. How you handle fear is by understanding that you have to build faith. The fear was built, the faith can be built as well. So you're going to use your imagination, and this is going to be accomplished through imagining what you desire. It's concentrated attention on the results that you desire. So what would be the opposite of that? Success, right? You see yourself as success. So you could ask yourself this question. Now that I am successful, or you can modify the question, by the way. You can modify this question, but now that I am successful, how do I feel? Now that I have this in my life, how do I feel? Now that I've purchased my home and paid for it with cash, how do I feel? Now that I have generated X, whatever it is, currency in my life this year in income, how do I feel? You can ask that question for anything. It works for anything. Sharon says ecstatic. I love it. Okay, but let me just, I love that Sharon said that. I want to talk about that for a moment. There's a distinction here. The reason why I'm mentioning this distinction right now is I noticed this with a client that I was working with the other day, a client that I love and appreciate. This woman, I just started working with her in a private mentoring capacity. And oh my goodness, she is an amazing woman, amazing woman. And she decided that she's going to manifest some pretty amazing things in her life. So she's taken her life to a whole new level. And so we just started working together last week. She shared with me what her goal was. I gave her a recommendation to her. And yesterday, is it today, Tuesday? Yes. Yesterday, she sent me an email. And in the email was an audio that she had recorded. It was a beautiful audio. And she was, as Sharon wrote here, ecstatic. However, here's what I noticed, and I want you to listen to this because there's a distinction here. She was so ecstatic about the outcome, but she was saying things like, I didn't do anything to deserve this, and why me? And so there was a part of, it's almost like conflicting energy there. There was the energy of the joy of having, but ecstatic joy of having it. But yet there was also this underlying understanding that she didn't do anything to deserve this. Why her kind of thing? So there was doubt. So I heard the ecstaticness, if that's a word, and I heard the doubt. And we got on a call actually minutes later because she sent it to me about 10 minutes before. Yeah, she was negating the blessing. You're right, Herman. Yeah. So it was just about 10 minutes before we got on our call together, and we got on our call together. And I said to her, love your question, and Matt, I'm going to answer that. And I said to her, I said, I really appreciate that you sent the video over, but I said, I think it would be doing more damage than good. And in fact, I'm going to make a recommendation. Now, here's the recommendation. Now, I know all of you can benefit from this, so I'd listen up if I were you. Oh, it's 111 here, so that's a sign. This is a very important message. You want to feel, okay, I want you to think about your results, right? Billionaire Pete will use you as an example. You want to feel that this is natural for you, okay? You want to feel as if this is natural for you, not arrogant, not egotistical, but this is who you are. Oh, Mark, it's 11:11. I love that. This is who you are. There's one of the other books that I love, another book by Neville Goddard called The Power of Awareness. In chapter, I think it's 24, he wrote a chapter called Failure. And I will say this, when I saw the name of the chapter, I wasn't attracted to reading a chapter on failure, but it's good stuff. In fact, some of the best stuff is in this chapter. So here's what he said. So listen to this. The time it takes, see, I don't even have to look at the page because I know this off by heart. The time it takes for your assumption to become fact. Okay, that's your goal, okay? The time it takes for your assumption to become fact, your desire to be fulfilled, whatever that is, billionaire business, new dream home, relationship, perfect health, whatever it is, the time it takes for your assumption to become fact, your desire to become fulfilled is directly proportionate to the naturalness of your feeling of already being what you want to be, of already having what you desire. So do you feel it naturally now? If not, that's okay, because you can build it. You can build it. So he goes on to say this, the fact that it does not feel natural to you, for you to be what you imagine to be, that's self-image, right? That's what we're talking about today, is the secret of your failure. So when she sent me that audio, it was like, bam, this could actually not work for her. It could cause her to sabotage her results, because what I'm hearing is that she doesn't deserve it, that why her. You see, if you have a belief, and I know this is something that's impressed in young minds, right? Who do you think you are? I mean, that's what I heard all the time. And I heard it in that tone. Who do you think you are? Like I was some horrible person, and that's why I'm so sensitive to child abuse. I do not ever want to see a child being abused. It just sends me. And I just want all children to be loved and to be given, love and appreciation and respect, which is what they're meant to be. And so you have to believe. And for this client, she had to believe. So I said, okay, let's look at your scenario this way. That outcome is already done. Would you be feeling like all crazy and like screaming? Because her audio was actually almost like screaming. Would you be feeling like that after it's done? No. You might be feeling thankful. Like every day I wake up and I'm just grateful to God for the life that I'm blessed to live. I have my gratitude journal. It's right here beside me. I write in it every single day. I think about the blessings in my life. You are all a blessing in my life. I'm so grateful that you're here. I feel so blessed to serve. Like you got to feel it like this is your life. This is natural for you. When I made a decision in 1995 to buy that home, it was my home. And I had bought the home with a very unique idea. And the idea just slipped into my consciousness one night. And the idea was that I was going to buy the home, move into the home, pay the owner, the guy that was selling it, 10% of the purchase price the day I moved in, which I did not have, by the way. I had no idea where I was going to get that money from. But I wrote up a deal and said, okay, here's what I'd like to do. And pay him 10%, pay him an occupancy fee, and then close the deal 6 months later. That's a very unusual deal. I don't even know where the idea came from other than the universe. And I did the deal. And then I attracted the money into my life. So when I was in the home, it was my home. I didn't tell anyone what I had done. I didn't tell my family that I didn't own the house yet. They saw me moving into this beautiful custom designed home that was all decorated and professionally designed. And I know they were like shaking their heads going, how in the world did you do this? Nobody asked. And I told no one. I didn't tell anybody because it was none of their business. It was none of their business. And I didn't want anyone's negative energy. So that was my home. I felt it was my home. It was naturally my home. And I attracted the money from a very unusual way, an idea that I had never thought of. It came from a stock transaction, which I'm not a stock market person. I did not practice in the stock market. So it was very, very unusual that it happened, but it happened. Why? Because of the naturalness. You have to feel it naturally. Now, we had a question here by Ann Met a little while ago. She said, how do I grow my faith? You grow your faith by being in harmony with what you desire, feeling as if you already have it. And that is accomplished through imagining. You imagine over and over and over again. You see, you've got to eliminate the fear and build the faith. Fear is just believing in something that's not there. So is faith, right? They both demand the same thing for you to believe in something that's not there. And it's energetically accomplished through how you're directing your thoughts and your feelings That's what's really important. Just notice it's 1:17. I got a lot more slides to go through, and we're going to also be hearing from Roddy in a few minutes, and Vladdy's going to come on. So the meaning of as within, so without, I did a blog on this the other day, really comes from as within, as you see yourself as you desire to be, you see yourself successful, you see yourself as a billionaire. As within, it has to start there. You must believe it is who you are, and then you will produce the results. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. I think about that. I think it's a beautiful saying. And it's like, if you want more love in the world, be loving. If you want more success in the world, be a success, inspire others. We got a lot of people who are on this call who are truly difference makers, positive difference makers. And as you are out there in the world and you're helping others and you're doing the work that you're doing, you're going to experience better results in your life. That's the only way that it works. It works naturally that way. But transformation really does begin with a decision. And that's why I asked you earlier, how many of you are committed to this? And pretty much everyone said, yes, you have to decide. No more playing small. I love what billionaire Warren Buffett says, the best investment you can make is in yourself. Now he's created great success in his life, but he really genuinely believes this. I love how humble he is. But that's the truth. I know in my own life, The only reason why I'm sitting here today and sharing with you what I've accomplished in my life at this point in my life, and there's a lot more I will be accomplishing, is because I invested in myself. That's it. It's the investment that you make in yourself. Now, we do have a couple offers. I'm going to talk about them in a bit. But first, we have more things to go through, and I want to talk about some examples as well. But we do have something called the annual All Access Pass. And what that is we're going to work together for a year. And we're going to study together. We're going to go through program together. I'm going to answer your questions. It's all about you transforming your approach to success so that it's sustainable and fulfilling, so that you are producing the results. That's why I mentioned at the beginning yesterday when we were doing our mastermind for skipping levels, and Valine had shared with everyone that she had set an intention for a certain amount of money that she would manifest, and she did it. She absolutely did it. And it's not only Valine, there's many, many, many others, and we're going to hear about them in a moment. So we've seen time and time again how the right support at the right time can turn potential into remarkable achievement. It's important. That's why I began to study with Bob. So the materials that I teach, whether you are looking to create success as a business leader, as a coach, as an author, or just in your life, in your home life, the materials that I teach work on anything. And I know because they worked in my life on many things. So I want to give you some examples. Some of them you may or may not be aware of, but I'll specifically relate it back to the image of success and what we're talking about here. Now, I love the little dandelion because these are like seeds, right, that multiply. And I thought, that when I was doing my PowerPoint presentation for today, actually it was PowerPoint that came up with that image. And I thought, oh, that image is perfect. I'm going to use that image here because we're really talking about seeds. Now, I don't know if we have any golfers on the line with us today, or you love playing golf, but Pebble Beach Golf Course is an extraordinary golf course. And I started playing golf when I was in my 20s. And I took up golf so that I could invest more time with my dad, because my dad used to play golf. And I had the dream of playing at Pebble Beach. Not only did I play at Pebble Beach, but I played there twice. And at one point I played in a tournament, and I even won closest to the pin on one of the holes, which was a lot of fun. And I came close to winning longest drive. Not saying I'm a great golfer. It was just a couple of good shots. That's all it was. But that was a dream. It was a dream that I had. I didn't know how that was going to happen, but I manifested it and played there a couple times. I highly recommend it. This is a picture from my wedding day. And just to the left is my son, Michel, and my husband, Denis. Then there's me in the wedding dress and my daughter-in-law, Corinne. And I attracted and married the man of my dreams. I met him 20 years ago. We've been married now 17 wonderful years. I'm extremely happily married. It was something that many, many, many years ago, I didn't even think it was possible. But the image that I created there was an image of being worthy of love. Prior to meeting Denis, for years before that, I had a realization that within my subconscious mind was a belief that I wasn't worthy of love. So I decided to adopt that belief that I am worthy of love. I'm not only giving of love, but I'm receiving love as well. And then I met him, attracted him into my life, and we're happily married. And I thank God for him every single day. He is always in my statements, my gratitude statements every single day. And you can ask Denny if you ever meet him, if his wife appreciates him, and he'll tell you, oh yeah, she tells me every day. I think about the home that I was raised in. The one on the left here is the home that I was raised in. I got a picture of that off of Google Maps. And the one on the right is a home that I purchased. It's not the one we're living in now. We actually sold that just about 3 years ago. And but it was a 10,000 square foot home in a beautiful community backing onto a private golf course, and absolutely spectacular. And the reason why I like to show this is because of contrast. What you can create with your intentions by setting your intention and believing that you're worthy of the success that you desire. This is all part of imaging yourself into success. I remember years ago deciding I was going to buy a second vehicle. I had a Mercedes at home, but I wanted a little sports car, and I saw a commercial for the Jaguar F-Type. And I went to the dealership and I said, I want one in Italian Racing Red, and I want a standard transmission. Well, they didn't have a standard transmission. But I said, call me when you do. And they said, well, I don't know if we're going to have one. A year later, they called and said, we have it. And I bought it. That was a number of years ago. I now have a white one, but I still have the �PegsJag license plate. In fact, I want you to understand this. This is a technique that I use. I bought the license plate first. I visualized owning the Jag, and then I bought the license plate, had the license plate, kept it in front of me all the time. And then a year later, I bought the car. Becoming a New York Times bestselling author was something that I manifested into my life. I made a decision. This is what I am. I became one with the outcome, and I manifested a New York Times bestselling author. Now I'm an author of 23 books that are sold in about 100 and some odd countries in the world. And as far as I know, been translated into approximately 40 languages. I made a decision to buy an additional property, a waterfront home. That's my husband and I, Denny, sitting on our swim platform. Outside of the swim platform, I imagined it. Denny wasn't even really on board with the idea at the time, but I knew he would love it. I imagined him looking over and saying thank you, especially as we watched the sun set in the evening. And that is exactly what happened. One of my clients actually took this picture for me because we had a little client event at our cottage one time. But I created the picture in my mind of not only buying it and owning it, but sharing it with family and friends and clients. You create the picture in your mind first. It's important to do that. Bob Proctor, you know, I was studying with him for so many years, and I saw him on stage. It's like, I want to be on stage with Bob Proctor. Not only was I on stage with Bob Proctor many, many times, but we incorporated a company together. We ran that business for several years. In fact, the picture in the top right-hand corner on this slide was taken about a month before Bob passed away. And it was at Christmas time, and Bob and Linda had invited me and Denny to their home for dinner, for a Christmas dinner. And we took that picture at that time. Now, I had just gotten out of the hospital at that time. I had just had my stomach tube removed. I had just started eating food. But what you don't see in that picture is Bob was actually sitting on a walker. He was starting to feel quite weak at that time. He was starting to go through some of his own health challenges. But what a blessing that man was to this world. What a blessing he was to my life. His teachings changed my life in every way. I thank God for him every day. I'm so grateful for the relationship that we had together. I still have a relationship with him. In fact, he's my savvy. That's what savvy wisdom is all about. So I want to help you. I really want to help you beyond being here today. And I've got a couple of ways that I can do that. And I'm going to share that with you in a moment. And I want you to help you learn like how to manifest better from my own experiences. I think about Tessia, who is a lovely woman that I'm so blessed to serve. She sent me this message and she said, with the guidance and wisdom, it empowered her to implement changes that led to incredible results in her personal and professional life, from growing her business to launching live events to pursuing charity work and overcoming health challenges. She said, I worked with her in a private mentoring capacity, plus she was part of Skipping Levels. And she said it equipped her with the tools to manifest her dreams and impact her lives positively. And she says it's not just about skipping levels or quantum leaps. It's about realizing the life that you've always desired. And I'm grateful for her as well, because she continues to succeed. But there's so many different ways that you can earn money. You simply have to get in harmony with having it in your life, by attracting it in your life, by feeling as if you already have that which you desire. Because I'm certain that's what Valine did. In fact, Karen Allen, a lovely woman who was a single mom that I work with, she had never really thought about becoming a millionaire. But after going through my program, she thought, ooh, maybe I can accept that as my life. And she did. And she sent me a note saying that she has officially become a millionaire. So would you love to accelerate your results? Would you love that and stop the struggle? I know how to do that. Would you love it? You have to decide that that's what you would love. I think about June last year, you can see right on this is I did a screenshot, a capture of an email that she sent May, less than a year ago. And she said, my breakthrough is already in process. I will double my income by this year. I worked with her in January. I had 1 month of mentoring with her. I'm going to show you how you can have that as well. And she started a business. She chose a name. She created an LLC. She received her tax number, secured a domain name, created her email account all in 2 days. Within a week, she has one paying job. She had visited a client to create her first official estimate that she'll be delivering, and 2 more scheduled estimates. She's now working in her business. And she says, I'm such a high vibration. See, that's what I love about this, is that it's consistent and it's permanent, the change that you make as well. She said, thank you for this breakthrough event homework so I can brag a little bit more about my success. She also said this to me, and I asked her if it was okay to share. She said, I learned more in 1 month than I did in the previous 7 years, because she worked with me in that 1 month period. Deborah Sky King was a client of mine a number of years ago, and she was a single mom. She had written a book, but she wanted to extend beyond the book into another revenue source. And I gave her an idea. And within a period of 2 weeks, she generated $113,927. I didn't make this up. She did it, but I can't do it for you. I can give you the guidance and I can show you the way, teach you what the steps are, but you have to do it for yourself. Dr. Vidya, who's a medical doctor, she said that I helped her create freedom for herself and her family and for those that that she serves now with her beautiful spirit. I think about Sherry Dunn, who's another one of our great clients that we love, consistently showing up, has become an author, an award-winning author. She won the Award of Excellence. And she sent this message saying, at the risk of sounding like a suck up, because I'm really not, I will have to say that you've given me so many new areas to expand on, explore, and get me so excited about a Jasmine future. I was already excited about. You're like a shot in the arm of happy and positive adrenaline. Thank you. And I just want to share that because of these are individuals that have gone on to do something with the material. I love Joan and Paul. You know, Joan and Paul are destiny coaches with our organization. They've been through private mentoring and skipping levels, and they sent this message saying that the skipping levels program was a game changer for the two of them. And Bob Proctor was my introduction to them, as many people have been, and many people who are here on this call right now are. And they were drawn to the program because of the promise of tangible results. We can't promise you any results, but we can promise you growth for sure, if and when you implement the ideas. But their journey has been, and it still is, incredible growth and discovery. They stretched their minds, they untapped potentials, and they connected with like-minded individuals. I know that's something that people really, really love. They love the simplification of complex concepts and inspired action, what they need to do. And they've seen remarkable changes. They've made lifelong friends. And of course, Joan wrote a best-selling book that was accepted by the Forbes Library as well. And I won't read the rest of this. You can read it for yourself. But why did that happen? They chose to step into a new version of who they are and began to experience things that they never experienced before. And they're very committed to success. They're still in our programs. Dr. Stacia Pierce, when she reached out to have me coach her in private mentoring, she was already a success. And in fact, when she called, I was thinking, why are you even calling me? You know how to do this. Is something that you teach yourself. But she wanted the guidance, and she was inspired to produce better results, and she doubled her results. I think about One Me. Oh, I love and appreciate the things that she's done. Is just like, wow, she's going at lightning speed. She says, skipping levels, and she's been in it for a while. She said it's been nothing short of life-altering, from discovering the transformative journey and for going from negativity and despair to believing that success is meant for her, and by stepping into it. And the things that she's accomplished have been incredible. Forgiveness, believing in herself, visualization. And within weeks, she said she experienced a profound shift in her mindset. She found peace, joy, and success beyond her wildest dreams, from manifesting her dream home to relocating to another country to just continuing. She's just launched a magazine, which I believe is launching tomorrow. And I was one of the first people that she had interviewed for her magazine. I mean, it's just success after success after success. It just keeps getting better and better and better. And I love what Henry David Thoreau said, a man receives only what he is ready to receive. You got to be ready to receive. Now, I don't think you'd be here if you weren't ready to receive. Am I right about that? All right. Well, speaking about being ready to receive, I'm going to bring on a very special person in my life, somebody that I really love and appreciate. And this individual has joined my organization and been with me now for a few years. We attracted each other. We manifested each other in our lives. He is a gift. I tell him all the time, you know, how much I appreciate him, how valued he is. And if any of you have any connections with Roddy, you know what I'm talking about. But Roddy offered to share a story of his own, of something that he manifested. So I'm going to hand the microphone over to Roddy for a few minutes while he shares his house manifestation story. Thank you, Roddy. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Peggy. I really appreciate you too. Really grateful for you and for everybody here today. And I just kind of want to emphasize that these stories that Peggy are sharing are real, like they genuinely are real, and the teachings that she puts across are very transferable. Anybody can do it. And we talked about that at the start. There really has to be that burning desire within you to make it happen. If you've got that desire, Peggy can make it happen. There's so much evidence. I think there's so many people on the screen today that have achieved so much, and I don't think we've even, got to the tip of it. I think there's so much more. But my story basically, when I look back over the last 3 years and I look at the work that I've done alongside Peggy and the accomplishments, like the actual tangible results, it's not just the theory that Peggy gives, it's the actual information to go out and run with it to get a result. So I look at my bank account, it's transformed completely. Like I was in a government job less than 3 years ago, in the rat race, not particularly having a great time, feeling pretty fed up, basically, would be one word to use. I look at my income, it's improved tremendously, like way, way more than probably anything I ever thought was possible. And I look at the house that I've gotten now, again, all of that was down to the information that Peggy supplied me with. Having that mentor, having that person alongside me. She talked there about, having, if you go to if you've got a pain in your chest, you go to a doctor, or if you've got, something wrong with you, you see the person that's actually done it, you get the expert advice and you follow through with what they're saying. Bob Proctor said that all the time, do follow what somebody who has already accomplished what you want, follow and just do exactly as they said. And it's quite simple, really. Looking back now, I followed what Peggy was telling me to do. I created that image in my head, the house, walking in the house, touring around the house, imagining seeing myself in that building. Imagine when I was doing the dishes, looking out the window, really getting into that feeling state, which we talk about all the time. It's so important that you get into that feeling state. Um, the other key thing as well too, and I think that Peggy said, I'm just going to bring up this slide. We've seen time and time again, as Peggy shared there, the right support at the right time can turn potential into remarkable achievement. Are you ready to see how far you can go? Like, I don't think there's any limit at all. Like, there is no limit. And I just want to emphasize Peggy's expertise, her knowledge, the way in which she really cares for people, caring for me as a friend and as a employee, and as being a customer as well too in the past in our programs. She gets results. She's really a magician as far as I'm concerned in what she's got, and it's so possible for you to get the results that you want. I believe in you. We believe in you. So I know, Peggy, we're getting near the end here as you've got another class to teach, but please, if you want any help on manifesting dream homes, improving your income, your business, any of these concepts, it's there for you, and it's very, very possible for you if you have that desire.
I love that, Roddy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your own manifestation story because, you're really, a lot of people know this information, but they don't actually apply it. And that's what you did. You applied the information, absolutely applied it. So incredible, incredible results. Let's go back and let's take a look at Roddy's magnificent home. And I wanted to just stress something else here. Roddy was living in a flat that he owns in Scotland, and Hannah also had a flat that she owned. And they decided together to buy this home, to purchase this home, as we're seeing in the pictures here. Well, they still own their flats as well. So here's a couple of young people that have not only bought a beautiful home in the countryside, the spectacular place, the view is incredible. I have goosebumps thinking about it because Roddy will send me pictures, but they also still own their other places. And so there's no limit to where you can go with this information. Absolutely no limit. I love this statement. Know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth is, there's so much more waiting for you, so much more that you can accomplish, and there's unlimited power within you. I love this statement. Fortune favors the bold. Right? When I was reading testimonials from our clients and putting them into the presentation, I'm thinking, here's a whole bunch of bold people. I'm sure Valine understands that too. And I shared with you how she manifested. Fortune favors the bold. Was Roddy bold to go for a dream home? Absolutely. But it's an ancient proverb that says you act boldly and bravely to accomplish greatness. Nothing good will happen unless you have the heart and courage to take chances, because all you have to decide is, do I want it? If you're hearing these examples of people that I've worked with personally, privately, private mentoring, or you're hearing me talk about the annual All Access Pass, all you need to ask yourself is, do I want it? I think about another author that I mentored, wrote his first book, self-published it, created a special offer, secured a bunch of people to help promote it, and sold his book and gave away an ebook at the same time. And within a 2-week period, he earned $11 million. That's right. The comma is not in the wrong place. $11,900,000. Now, this is unusual. Not everybody can do this. We can't guarantee anything like it, but it was done. Think about J.K. Rowling, billionaire author. It's been done. A lot of people have to look for the evidence, right? They need to see that someone else has done it. That's not true. Absolutely not true. I went and bought a house. A lot of people would have said, you know what? You need money to do that. I didn't listen to what other people. Sometimes success is defying logic. Does it make sense to do this? Heck no. I've been doing that all my life. I remember when I decided to get the Jag, my husband said to me, well, you could buy a house with that money. I said, I don't want to buy another house. I want the Jag. I had a house. I wasn't looking to buy another house. I want the Jag. Now, in his mind, it seemed like a ridiculous thing to do. That's okay. I don't need his permission. I think that's a bit of why, some people might call me a brat. I'm not listening to what other people say. I know what's possible. I know what's possible for you. So what is it worth to you to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want? That was a comment that we saw at the very beginning of this presentation. That's what somebody said. And I know it's something that a lot of people desire. If you look at the picture that you're looking at here, that's me, by the way. That's me on a little Honda 100. And I took that up to invest more quality time with my son. My son wanted to motocross when he was young. I'm a mom of one son, so I wanted to do things that would be fun for him too. He wanted to motocross. I thought, that seems like a good thing to do. I took up motocross and started motocrossing with him. Things that you can do whenever you want to do them. Go places you want to go whenever you want to go. It's freedom is really what we're talking about. So if you're ready to really embrace real prosperity and transform your life for the better, for good, whether it's your business or just your own life, you do need the right guidance. It's absolutely essential you get the right guidance. But the only thing that you have to have is desire. So there's no experience required. It's just, do you want it? Do you want it? And if you do, we can show you the way. Like I think about many of these clients, all of these were clients of mine that I was blessed to serve, and they all wanted to build multi-million-dollar businesses or create greater success in their life. Everybody has that desire for more success, better results in their life. And it's possible. It's possible when the desire is there. I think about Nancy, who took my author program years ago. she wanted to get her children's book out in the world on the night you were born. You may even know of her book now because she moved into action. She learned, she applied, and she got results. So do you realize that the only thing that's standing between you and success is implementation of proven strategies? That's it. That's all it is. You have to apply what you want to earn. Now, I had mentioned at the beginning that we had a little video clip from Bob that I want to share with you. And this is a clip where Bob is talking about me, but there's a particular message in here that I want you to hear. This is very short, so let's just listen to Bob.
Those who have cultivated, I love this, the habit of persistence seem to enjoy insurance against failure. I can tell you one thing I know, I am persistent. You know what I like about Peggy McColl? I'll tell you, because when I think of persistence, I think of Peggy McColl. There's a very fine line. It's an imaginary line. We're not quite sure where it is, but it separates being a pest from being persistent.
I wanted to hide under the table.
Peggy has almost like a sonar built into her mind that she gets right to the line, but she doesn't go across it. Brian and I have talked about this, I don't know how often, and we'll laugh about it. I'll say, damn, she comes so close to that line. That's a talent. She's developed a talent. Those who have cultivated the habit of persistence seem to enjoy insurance against failure, no matter how many times they're defeated. Yet it doesn't matter how many times they're defeated. They finally arrive up towards the top of the ladder. Sometimes it appears, I love this, this is so true. Sometimes it appears there is a hidden guide whose duty is to test us through all sorts of discouraging experiences. Those who pick themselves up after defeat and keep on trying arrive, and the world cries, bravo, I knew you could do it. Now, this hidden guide lets no one enjoy great persistence without passing the persistence test. Those who can't take it simply don't make the grade. It's that simple. They just don't make the grade. Those who can take it are bountifully rewarded for their persistence.
Bountifully rewarded for their persistence. You know, that little video clip was sent to me by Bob's grandson, Danny. Danny works with Proctor Gallagher Institute. That's Brian's son. And he found it one day. He was looking through some of Bob's videos and he said, I found this little video and I thought of you. And he said, I thought you might like to have this. And of course, you know, when I heard it and, you know, realized what Bob was saying about Peggy being a pest. Not the first time I've heard that, by the way. But am I okay with that? Yes, I'm okay with that. Because I know that the desire is there for good reason, right? I'm certain what you desire is for good reason. For you to experience success. Like I know for a fact that when you create more success in your life, it will inspire other people. You will influence people that are around you. I know I have. My daughter-in-law is Kayla. We're family. I know I've influenced her. I know I've influenced Vladdy. In fact, I want to bring Vladdy into the spotlight for a few minutes because Vladdy is somebody that I was blessed to meet initially through email. And I saw something in her that's in me. Persistence, if you will. I think very appropriate. But Vladdy, we just have a few minutes here. I actually do have another call that I have to be on at 2 o'clock. So we just take a few minutes and then I'm going to show everyone what the offers are. In fact, Roddy, if you can put the links in the chat box as well, you know, while we're sharing, that would be terrific. But Vladdy, I had intended on bringing in earlier, but Spirit led me down another road. And but I'm very grateful for you. And I know that you understand what persistence is really all about. It's who you are.
Thank you. I'm going to be quick, but I'm going to speak to what Peggy said, and it really is what get me where I am. It's a decision making and persistence. And if you have you have this goal you would love to achieve, if the dream will stay a dream unless you do something with it. So taking a bold yes is actually, sometimes it is always facing a fear, or it's investing in yourself. It's taking steps you don't know how to take, but don't worry about the how. But persistence will get you everywhere. And persistence with faith, I always find as a really great twins for me. Do you know, when you've heard all these stories, do you sometimes feel like, I want to be that story as well? Are you not sometimes tired? You're showing up on all these webinars, because I've started showing up on all webinars to get better and to grow and really create better results. But then after a while, you realize, hold on, I've done so many and I'm not where I want to be in a quantum leap way. Is that maybe some of you can relate? Would you agree with me? And just raise your hand that Peggy actually has created an amazing life. She has shown and been showing it for years. And it is just something that speaks for itself. Like, would you love that? Do you actually believe you can do the same? And be honest, because, you know, I didn't believe in myself. And that's where it all changed. And I now say, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what you do. Coach without a coach is a dangerous coach. Now, I don't like the word coach, but I like mentor. And it comes to confidence. We should have enough confidence to feel that, oh, I've got it all figured out. And Peggy spoke to this at the beginning. So the most important thing is, would you love to really create the results? Would you really, really love to have it now, not in 10 years? Making a decision in the now is the only way. You know, 15 days ago, I made a decision. I'm going to stop drinking coffee. Now, I'm a coffee lover, 6 to 8 coffees a day. I love it. I don't want to stop, but I've made a decision that I'm going to stop for 50 days. Now, I said from Wednesday, it doesn't work. You making a decision in the future, oh, next month I will join you. And this is why I did with skipping levels. Oh, I don't have a money, Peggy, but in 5 months, when you're running it again, I'll be there. You making a decision in the future doesn't work. Why? Because you're hoping to be a different person in the future. But you're here now. If you're not able to actually make a decision to step into your dream, it is not even anybody else's dreams, it's yours. If you're not able to step into it now, then you probably never will, or you will find them, because it's a pattern of thinking, which I've changed by being actually with Peggy. It's like you thinking, oh, when this changes, I will get that. It doesn't work like that, and it never will. And all the successful people who created amazing life is because they've made a decision, not because the conditions were right for them. It's the decision making from the end. So now you think from the end, who is the person I would love to be? And you think as that person every day. Doesn't mean you're going to do everything right away, but still you have to think that. Now you can't actually create it unless you really, with the guidance like Roddy was referencing. If I knew how to create the success I'm experiencing now, I would have done it on my own. But you know, we all need guidance, and we all need something that happens. But the first thing you need is you saying yes to yourself. You're not saying yes to us. Peggy shows up every day for everyone else, and she expects all of us to show up for ourselves. And if you actually want to create the results, you have to really be committed to your own dream, because actually your mind is your success tool. So the one thing you want is create the mind and a thinking that you can manifest anything. I know you all have a specific goals, and it's really great to have a clarity, but really my goal is I want to have that mind that can just be in a 1% highest level of showing up and just do and manifest anything. Because when you have the thinking, you don't really need to focus on a little car or a dog or the house or anything else. Of course, they're great dreams. But what if you could have that thinking and use that strategies, apply them anywhere across your life, and really now start manifesting consistently? And I'm going to say that Do you sometimes manifest things that are, oh, okay, I've got it? But it's like the thermostat. It stops us at a certain level and it's not consistent. So you want to actually create consistent steps. And I'm going to hand it back to Peggy because I know she has to finish. But say yes to yourself and be that success story in the future who will look at yourself and say, thank you for saying yes to myself.
I love that, Vladdy. So true, and so grateful for you. I love that you continue to show up and implement too. And I know how your life is, continually changing, how you love serving people and helping people. We constantly receive compliments about Vladdy and how, she's willing to meet with you. We'll put a link in the chat box. It is peggymccall.com/book call. Roddy just put it there right now. She would love to meet with you. We have a number of offerings, as I mentioned. I will share with you just quickly the one that we are focusing on today based on what we're covering off today, that we have. We just brought back. This was not available for a few months. We brought it back. It's a 1-month mentorship. If you're somebody who'd like to get some results real fast, we've opened up a few spots with this. It's mentorshipwithpeggy.com. Now, if you want to spread it out over a couple months, that's fine as well. Just go there, check it out, or speak to Vladdy. She'll help you with it. And that's where we will work together in a private capacity. There are only a few spots there. So if you're interested, just get on over there. And don't worry about the funds. Just ask yourself, do I want it? I absolutely know with certainty, if you want something, you're going to find a way. It happens all the time. The other one, which is an extraordinary offer, something that we created just at the end of last year, which is called the Annual All Access Pass. As a team, with Roddy and Vladdy and Kayla and I, we sat down and thought, how can we serve people even better in 2024? And we decided to create a year-long program. And this is where we're going to be together for the entire year. We've got an amazing group of people. A bunch of them are on this call right now that are with us. We study together every day with Club Achieve. We have calls together every week through the MSI Entrepreneur Program, Q&A calls. We're also skipping levels for the entire year. You see, skipping levels used to be a 6-month, it still is a 6-month program. In fact, you can join it for 6 months, but this is a much better value, much better deal, a whole year long of working together. Just imagine how your life can change when you commit to your success, when you commit to your results. So how many of you would love to work with us over the next year? Or you'd love to do the private mentoring capacity? You could do both. A lot of people do. We'd love to have you in. We would love to serve you. Now, you can go to those links. We are very clear, transparent about what the investment is. Vladdy says skipping levels transformed her life in ways I never thought possible. In fact, I have several more slides that I have in my presentation for today. Connie and Alan, who are on here, talking about their success as well. Michelle Snyder. I know Michelle, Holly was here, her daughter. Michelle's been through skipping levels, Holly skipping levels. We have NECA, who's another graduate of ours, and she had provided us with the things that she has created as a result of that. And so wonderful. Okay, great. Well, I know that there's a lovely lady, Nicole, who's on here, who says me, and I know she actually told me yesterday, I think it was, that she is joining the annual All Access Pass. So we'd love to have her there. Tootie, who's on here, is in it. Jacqueline is in it. Connie and Alan are back in the annual All Access Pass. So some familiar faces. One of the great things and the blessings of being part of this group is the group. The friends that you make, the people that you get to hang out with. It's like success breeds success. Kathy, Herman are also part of our annual All Access Pass. Donna, I mean, we've got so many people here who've been through our programs and are still in the programs, because the truth is your life can get better, but it's up to you. And we're here to serve you. We're here to help you. And just click on the links and check it in. Awesome. Wendy's in as well. Love Wendy. Just met her very recently. Make sure you click on those links. We will put the replay up and the links will be directly below as well. So Roddy's going to be doing that for you. I want to thank you all for being here with me and my team today. I have allergies. If you're wondering what the hell's going on with my nose and everything, it's just allergies. And Apparently it's a Florida thing. I should have sent a message to the universe. I'm not participating in that. But anyways, we're so blessed to serve you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts and appreciate you so much. And we look forward to serving you again in the very near future. So thank you. Go out and create success for yourself. We are so here for you. We're cheering for you. We're rooting for you. Your success is our success. Thanks again, everyone. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.